Do you need to share screen? Do you have some PPT or something to show?
Oh, sorry. Can I share whenever I want, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mr. Ashish, I can share the PPT whenever I can, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm just checking if the share is working.
Yeah, you have the
Can I?
right, sir. Yes.
Ah, is it showing?
Yes, sir.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
Shall we start?
Ah,
Okay. Hello, everyone. We are again back on to the Vidyata. It's a initiative by the Creative Warriors and powered by the Vidyata. So today we are have with us our industry expert, Mr. Paul George. He is a renowned filmmaker. He is working with the film industry from past more than 2 decades. He's a film director. He's a visiting faculty of filmmaking. He's an expert on a film direction. Did a great uh, experience in the screenwriting and the film directions. He has done a lot many music albums, fashion shoots, short films, documentaries, and things. And first of all, a very happy Teachers' Day, sir. And on this auspicious day, we have been happy to have you on board to be in on a great session of webinar of filmmaking, basically. So from here, you can take the session by your side.
okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ashish. That's exceptionally kind of you that you introduced me to the audience, the wonderful audience. I'm sure definitely there will be takeaways for the audience who is participating in this session. So first and foremost, I would like to thank each and every person who is participating in this. And I'm sure you have some expectations. आप जरूर आपका मन में कुछ तो चिंता होगा ये सेशन से मुझे क्या फायदा मिलेंगे सो डेफिनेटली आई एम श्योर आपको इसमें से फायदा मिलना चाहिए सो I also extend my sincere thanks and my gratitude to Media and Entertainment Skill Council of India for giving me this opportunity. So anyway, without much further ado, so let's get into the session. So ladies and gentlemen, one of the important things that we have to understand in filmmaking is that it definitely needs passion and hard work. So this is absolutely important to know that film direction is a very important profession. And fortunately, this is a very glamorized profession. So having said that, being a very glamorized position and profession, definitely it needs hard work and dedication. So that is what we want to look at. How a film director can contribute to the film industry as a film director. So I would like to go with a start with a very stereotypical and very cliched story, which as a child we all heard so many times. I can share with you the PPT, hopefully. The very famous The Hare and the Tortoise story. And we know the story very well. We started learning this story. हम बचपन से ये कहानी सुन के आए हैं. The Hare and the Tortoise. Now, unfortunately, the people in the world know only the phenomenon one or the part one of the story. Several people have no idea कि इसका एक कहानी part two भी है. As we all know, the competition started and the hare and the tortoise started running. The race became deadly, but as we heard in the story, we know what happened to the hare. The rabbit slept off. So I would like to tell you from a new perspective that this story has, or supposed to have, part two. As we saw in the part one story, I would like to not to touch the moral part of part one at the moment. मैं आपसे आग्रह करूंगा कि पार्ट टू में ये कहानी को क्या ट्विस्ट आया है. So in part one, the rabbit, after the competition, I am sure, began to do some soul searching. How did he lose this game? It is unthinkable that the extremely slow tortoise win such a sprint game like this. It is common sense की बात है ना कि such a very spontaneous, full of life, sprint-like animal is losing in an athletic competition like this. That's absolutely shocking. And it was very much devastating for the rabbit. But ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say that there is definitely the part two that we need to look into. The rabbit did the soul searching. How come in the world a tortoise can defeat the rabbit? So what went wrong? How the conclusion of the particular race became such a great fall for the rabbit? So he understood that the overconfidence and the laxity and the carefree mentality cost him the race. I would like to tell you that there is this part 2 race in which I'm sure after the soul searching, with a balanced mentality and care and discipline, he definitely wins the race. If there is a story of part 2 of the hare and the tortoise, then I'm sure definitely there is a different moral, and that moral will be the most disciplined or the disciplined and careful hare wins the race. I would like to bring your attention to another female protagonist, which we all know from childhood, we learn from the Indian epic Mahabharata. We all know about Panchali, Draupadi, the female protagonist, the main female protagonist of the epic Mahabharata. How there was an attempt to disrobe, and how the intervention of Lord Krishna, the divine intervention of Lord Krishna, saves her. As we all know, let me bring your attention to a second story or a second character, namely Panchali. In phenomenon 1 or story 1, she is exceptionally beautiful, famous for her courage. And in Mahabharata, we know the most notable incident is the game of dice, where Yudhishthira loses his entire possessions and including his wife. And Panchali gets humiliated by Kaurava brothers, and they attempt to disrobe her. One of the most disturbing incidents in the entire Mahabharata is the Vastraharan, or the disrobing, or the undressing of, or the attempt to undress of Draupadi. Even though it was completely an insane and disgraceful act done by Kauravas, the entire Pandavas, the cousin brothers of Kauravas, became simply spectators until Lord Krishna arrives, or Lord Krishna's intervention comes and saves the world. So defaming a woman and insulting her physically is one of the greatest crimes ever in humanity. And it is the Indian epic, Mahabharata, definitely is the first epic to speak about it. Let me bring the story number 2, which happened, which I call it phenomenon 2. Draupadi's insult and vengeance ignites the Kurukshetra war. One of the main reasons for the Kurukshetra war. The insult that this woman suffered was the final nail in the coffin, in which the two cousin groups, the Kauravas and the Pandavas, get into the war. Two rival families, two groups of cousins, And one of the key warriors, one of the most skilled archers, one of the strongest characters of Mahabharata has been introduced into the attack, Prince Arjuna, the hero of the epic, who is very famous for his archery. He can shoot with either hand, exceptionally upskilled person, exceptionally reskilled person, an outstanding character, the hero of the epic. The blessings and prayers of his teachers and gurus, filled with its maximum capacity and ability. When we look at the premise of Mahabharata, the premise, the first document that you make as a screenwriter or a filmmaker for your film, it is the premise that we make before writing everything. So one can wonder, what is the premise? The premise of a story, of a script, of a film contains the main characters and the character's world, and the character's location or locations, and the main conflict. Every film, as you watch, you can see several conflicts and main confrontations. So premise is a one-liner, a single line, maximum 2 lines or maximum 2 sentences. The premise of a film, if I make a film about Mahabharata, then I need to write a premise. If I want to direct a feature film on Mahabharata or on any other film, the first document that the screenwriter or the director-writer writes is the premise. I'll give you more examples. So, a major battle between two rival families named the Pandavas and the Kauravas at Kurukshetra to gain supreme power of the Hastinapura throne, in which we have the locations. In this one line, we have the locations, we have the main characters, and we have the conflict. It's a major battle, the conflict. Between whom? Between two rival families. They are two groups of cousins. There, at Kurukshetra. For what? To gain supreme power over the Hastinapura throne or crown. A single line. So as I start writing the script and developing further and further, every now and then I will be looking at the premise. Let me tell you another example of a premise. Look at the film Sholay, which was released in 1975, directed by Mr. Ramesh Sippy and written by Salim Javed duo writers. In Sholay, we know the premise. What is the premise? The premise is a retired policeman. A retired policeman hires two convicts, Jay and Viru. If you saw that film, you remember, you know the actors. After his family is murdered by a notorious and ruthless bandit who also spread havoc in the village. A retired policeman, he hires two convicts. So we have the two characters here. Two convicts are hired by a retired policeman. Why? उनका फैमिली को नुकसान पहुंचाया. His family was murdered. By whom? A notorious and ruthless bandit who not only destroyed this retired policeman's family, but spread havoc in the entire village. So in this premise, we get the main characters, the goal of the characters, the main conflict, and the locations. Same goes with the film Mathumadi or the latest film 2023 release Barbie or Oppenheimer, etc., etc. As you see this, so my dear friends and my dear fellow filmmakers, one has to really understood, though it is a very glamorized profession as a film director, what kind of contribution a director or a person who directs the film can give to the society or to its country. What are the responsibilities of a film director towards his or her country and to his or her fellow human beings and globally? So one of the, in my opinion, one of the fantastic things that the director contributes to the whole world is that films, definitely, a director makes films which will broaden the personal horizon or the professional horizon of the people who watch the film. So a film can change the entire culture, the negative things in a society. It can influence the entire belief system and the behavior of the people who see the film. So significant changes in the society can be definitely worked out because film is a very strong medium which can influence the beliefs, the opinions, and the behaviors of the people who see or watch such films. Some films bring patriotism and motivation. What some films teach us what are the responsibilities of a person towards his or her country, or how to get motivated. There are some films which encourage women or girls to participate in sports activities and help discourage gender inequality. So we see several films. For example, look at the 2016 release Nirja film, directed by Ram Mathavani, an outstanding director who directed the film Nirja. How patriotism can and motivation can be given to its citizens in a country. Or look at the film Bhag Milkha Bhag, directed by one of the prestigious directors of Bollywood, Farhan Akhtar. As you look at these two films, Nirja and Farhan Akhtar's Bhag Milkha Bhag, you really feel your responsibility towards your country. That you cannot continue to 24/7, 365 days live a carefree life. every man, more than a brother, more than a husband, is a father to his family and to his nation. Look at another film which always encourages to watch is the 2018 release Razi, directed by Meghna Gulzar. So how these kind of films have affected our society, and how these films are changing or improving the horizon of our life. Look at another film. Great news for women and girls, teenage girls and teenage females to understand that I can also participate in certain games, in certain sports categories. One of the greatest examples that Bollywood or Indian cinema saw is the film Dangal, 2016 release, directed by Nitesh Tiwari sir, one of the most iconic directors of Bollywood. So the films are supposed to encourage the humanity, encourage the people, and give a perspective that even though you are not thinking that you can do these kind of things, these films are really telling the people that you can do these kind of things in your life. So, my dear fellow filmmakers, how a film can change our life. Another outstanding example that women and females of India are encouraged by the film Mary Kom, released in 2014, directed by Umang Kumar. Films definitely change our horizon. Films definitely change our perspective. And every filmmaker has a particular perspective other than the generalized perspective which is prevailing in the society. If I go to a classic, very, very classic era, the early founding fathers of film era, there is a very small short film directed by Georges Méliès, A Trip to the Moon. A Trip to the Moon. Nearly 10 or 12 minutes movie, which changed the entire scientific world. A few days ago, we saw the Indian scientists sending the Chandrayaan in a very special way to the moon. How these films are encouraging the entire fabric of the society, that you can do it, no matter how great the misunderstanding may be, no matter how great helpless you may feel, you can definitely do. Another example is one of the greatest films I always recommend for filmmakers and students of filmmaking, is Saving Private Ryan, 1998 release, directed by none other than the most iconic global Hollywood director, Steven Spielberg. Saving Private Ryan. Private is a very lower category job in the American military. And there was a guy called Ryan, whose three other male siblings were killed already in the war. And Ryan's mother asking the American government, at least find my son who is fighting in the war. And send him home, at least this son. One of the most touching, iconic films by Steven Spielberg, the Hollywood director, Saving Private Ryan. It changed the mentality about war. It changed the entire outlook towards war. Globally, people began to think the meaninglessness of war, the fantastic values of love and living together is the real answer to humanity, etc., etc. Or if you look at the other film by Christopher Nolan, The Dark Knight, released in 2008. So all these films have definitely changed the society, the culture, the negativity in the society, etc., etc. I would like to talk about a particular kind of short, which we film directors know very well how to shoot it, should be knowing how to shoot it very well, which that short is called establishing shot. How a particular shot becomes an establishing shot. So before I get into that, I would like to show the first 10 minutes of a film, which I already mentioned about Steven Spielberg's, the film Saving Private Ryan. I request you to kindly watch the visuals before we get into the second part of this session today. I'll share with you that film in a moment. One sec, please.
Can you allow the sound? Actually, it's completely a mute. So if you allow the
Sorry.
sound,
Oh, acha. Okay. The sound is not working. Hello.
yes, sir. Sound is not coming onto the
video
Okay,
actually.
okay, okay,
You
okay.
need to allow it from the sharing area.
In the sharing area itself. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I should I reshare then? I'll stop sharing and then start from the beginning, you meant to say?
Yes, sir. If you
Okay.
can.
Yeah, sure, sure. I'll do that. 1 minute. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'll start from the beginning itself one more time. I hope that's fine.
Yes, sir. It's completely fine.
Oh,
Actually, I thought of that in between you want to talk
ah,
about
ah,
some shots. So
got it, got it.
probably at that time.
Got it. Uh, Now is the sound working?
Yes,
Perfect, no?
yes. It's audible. Perfect.
Clear the ramp! 30 seconds! Got me with you!
North side stick, starboard side stick. Move fast and clear those murder holes.
Want to see plenty of beef between men. 5 men is a juicy opportunity. 1 man's a waste of ammo.
Stand out of your weapons. Keep those actions clear. And I'll see you on the beach.
For a minute.
Yeah, sure, sure. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, sir. The streaming is just to be interrupted just because of some copyright issues.
Oh, I see.
So you just take a small shots and you can
Hmm.
explain it for that video that
Okay.
after these things then so it could be a educational actually. So
Okay.
it's not uh, YouTube is not allowing to us to show the
Oh,
whole video. That's why it's been
okay, okay.
just
Got it, got it.
interrupting
Yeah,
the streaming
got it,
actually.
got it. Yeah, yeah, okay. No problem.
And this
So,
video is little shaky because of probably the high quality. So the Zoom is
ah,
not streaming it well.
okay, okay, got it. Okay. So I will stop sharing, then I will, start explaining those, and then
Yeah,
we will,
probably you can speak about some shots and then we can go ahead with that thing.
first class.
Great.
Fantastic. Okay. Yeah. So friends, due to some technical issues, which our beloved moderator shared with us. So let's continue the uh, film, understanding about Saving Private Ryan. Uh, so this is one of the most iconic films, as I said, like I said before, that how those opening shots, the establishing shot of the Omaha Beach, where the German forces are founding or trying to completely annihilate or destroy the American military. So when you look at the opening part of this particular film, the first 10 minutes, the battle scene at the Omaha Beach is really worth studying and worth watching. I request, if you haven't watched that film, Saving Private Ryan, please do at the earliest. I'm sure this film will be available with the various watching options like either Netflix or Prime Amazon or Apple TV or Windows Player and movies, etc. So I just wanted to let you know how an establishing shot establishes the film or establishes the theme, how it can establish the tone and the mood of the film, how the relationship between characters and their world, their fictional world, or even the real world in the case of certain biopic films, etc. So, as you all know, every film director knows that, filmmakers know that establishing shots are done in extremely wide angles. So, it's a very wide shot, as you saw in the establishing shots of this particular film, Saving Private Ryan. The wide angles were initially at work, and it kept repeating at regular intervals. Because these are the shots, the short sizes of the wide angle, extremely wide angles, can really make the audience aware where this particular story is really happening. So, this is an excellent example. I hope you can see this. An excellent example of an establishing shot, which is establishing the fictional geographical world and its characters where the story is really taking place. As you all know, it's very, very, very familiar establishing shot. You can guess which film, which set of films or the series of films. Of course, the Harry Potter, which is coming to your mind immediately, I'm sure. So, how these films can definitely, establish the theme. I'm just referring to another film directed by uh, Danny Boyle, the film Slumdog Millionaire. Slumdog meaning a person who lives in slum areas. So when you want to establish the your opinion as a film director, your perspective as a film director, we know the theme or the story of the Slumdog Millionaire. That रट्टा मार के पढ़ना और by heart करके answer करना is completely ridiculous, and this is not going to improve the brain, and hence let me do something new, right? Or the film Three Idiots. directed by none other than this particular director. Purposely, I haven't written the name of this director's name on the PPT, purposely, because we know as soon as we see this person's face, we know immediately the name of this person comes in our mind. So what is the opinion of the Three Idiots? What is the perspective? You should be always successfully studying, scoring 100% marks in each and every exam. This is the general attitude of the humanity, and which is very good. You should score 100% marks, no matter what subject you study, whether you study science or arts or commerce or whatever. But here is a film, Three Idiots, which says that isn't everything. उसका आगे भी कुछ बात है. Something called you do what you love. You study what you love. See how the director is contributing to the society through his or her film with a new perspective, with a unique thinking, with a unique mentality. The director is not copying the general mentality of the public. The director is giving a new perspective. It is not enough. Retta Marke Patna is not enough. बड़ा बड़ा engineering college में जाके lessons पढ़ना सिर्फ, that's not enough. The director is saying something else is missing. A very, very important perspective is missing. What's that? I'll tell you that. This should be the mentality of a film director. Because the director has a unique responsibility to change the mindset of the people and to give them a new perspective. That is absolutely the responsibility of a director. So I wish I could go on and on and on for several hours. My workshops are basically 2 days workshop on film direction using high-level aerial XI cameras and movie lights and all that hopefully you can attend in our physical workshops in Mumbai or in other cities in Mumbai, in India. So hopefully. So, but within this limited time, which is the stipulated time given by the Media and Entertainment Skill Council of India, which I am very much grateful. So let me come to the third and the final point, which I wanted to share with you as a film director. So how do I achieve professional success as a director? We all know we live in a democratic country. We all know that we have so many film direction institutes where film direction, filmmaking is being taught. There are so many, apart from the major theaters, the windows of opportunity to showcase your films in theaters. Apart from that, there are so many digital platforms now, like YouTube, Vimeo, etc., and all the social media, Facebook, Twitter, Insta TV, etc. So because there is democracy in filmmaking, in the sense I meant to say, आपको आपका फिल्म कहीं पर भी, without me spending so much money, you can make a film, you can direct a film, you can showcase the film. But that doesn't mean that you have really achieved professional success. Because there is democracy in filmmaking, doesn't really mean that we, as a film director, has really achieved professional success, because even though it's a very glamorized profession, it needs unmatching passion and unmatching vision and large amount of hard work. Because here in filmmaking, in film direction, hard work is the only smart work. So when a director is filled with unmatched passion, vision, and dedication, these are the three values or three virtues needed for, if you want to make high quality films, then these three things must be the unmatching passion. That even in the midnight or at 3 a.m., that you are ready to direct a scene, that you're ready to make changes in the script. So the unmatching passion. So it's a very glamorized profession, but let me remind you that the amount of hard work and the unmatching passion, the vision and the dedication required, the three values or the three important virtues, if anyone wants to make a high quality film, which will be appreciated by millions of people in the theaters, in the country and globally, then we have to refocus and upskill and reskill ourselves with the real passion. And that passion is accompanied by real firm leadership skills and untamed imagination. That the ability to imagine every person had, and that imagination should continue, because it's a very firm leadership skill oriented job or industry where you have a lot of creative choices. You are not making or creating a scene because that scene has to be this way because I have no other options. That should never be like that. I am taking this particular outlook and I am directing this way because I have selected and decided from the creative choices that I have. You should never settle with, I can do only this because this is the only option I have to direct this scene, kind of. No. You should create a lot of creative choices that comes, and then making a decision of firm leadership that I am going to go with this creative choice and with this kind of imagination. And that's the time the whole world will definitely tell you that you are a born film director. So, my dear fellow filmmakers, I can definitely share with you my WhatsApp contact and my email ID for any further queries to send your stories, your script, or for feature film direction, or for workshops, anything of that sort. You can definitely be in touch with me. I know this is not equal to a 2-day workshop or 3-day workshop we are doing just under 90 minutes, but I just wanted to share with you this and take advantage of this opportunity given by our great Skill Council of India Media and Entertainment Skill Council of India. So I thought I'll just come and meet you and encourage you and motivate you that go on with your unmatching passion and vision and dedication and hard work, which is equal to the smart work, and select from the creative choices that you have, not because you are running out of options, but because you have a creative option to direct a particular scene. So on your screen, you can see my contact details. You can mail me your stories. You can ask your doubts for any kind of mentoring or help if you require in filmmaking. We'll be more than happy to help you. So with this, मैं आपसे आग्रह करूंगा अगर आपसे कुछ सवाल है तो पूछिएगा and definitely I'll be more than happy to answer you the way I think.
Yes, sir. So there are a lot many questions that are to our end that students want to ask from you.
Sure.
That the very first question is that what's your most memorable project for your 2-decade career in direction?
Most memorable project.
Project you had been done in directions.
Okay. So I have been part of music albums, directing music albums and fashion shoots and documentary films directing and television serials like CID serials and even feature films. One of the important or one of the most memorable I remember was directing my one of the short films. I have directed more than 100 plus, I believe, or 150 to be exact, short films. So that is one short film in which a character was, going through a kind of misunderstanding in the society, and it's a female character, and that character was very much upset about the decision that she made to work against the thought process of the society, and that was extremely difficult for even the actress to act that, and I believe it had several retakes, and finally with the directorial suggestions, I really found that the camera was able to capture those acting moments where the female character is in a dilemma, how to take life ahead, and how one can be a meaningful citizen even with our own personal lifestyle. So this is one of the most memorable when you asked me about one. Thank you for that question. That question is a very great question. Every director has a certain memorable scenes or the hardships or the difficulties associated with directing such scenes. Yes, I think this is one of the I always remember and how difficult it was for me to direct, and that was just 3 or 4 years down the line of when I started, maybe 20 years ago. So some of that sort, which really challenged my skills as a director, and how the dialogues which I wrote as a director writer was getting perished because the actress was quite capable to improvise on the dialogue lines, and always remember certain dialogues will perish in the sense the actor or the actress will come with their own improvised outlook and their own vision, and they can destroy those well-crafted dialogue lines, but that's okay. It depends on the director too. Certain directors allow that kind of. I am one of those directors where I will be happy if the actor or the actress can come up with something better lines of dialogue. Why not? Let my dialogues perish or be destroyed, and let the upper hand of the director, I mean, the actors or the actresses, wonderful lines, improvised lines can definitely do the film. This is why I said that was definitely memorable, because I wrote spending days and nights making several drafts about that particular dialogue scene and make it, I made it, I believe I made it, um, very crispy and short and sweet and concise and clear. But when we started shooting, the actress came up with some beautiful lines, which I thought at that moment, every director is a moody person. I mean, it depends on the mood of the atmosphere. And then when she avoided the lines which I gave through the script, even though she had by-hearted that uh, A to Z, but when she came up with that beautiful sentence, which was not in the script, it really surprised me. And I said, wow, let's take that, let's improvise on that and keep speaking those 2 or 3 sentences. So, yes, that is one of the most memorable I would like to share with you at the moment, I believe. Yep.
That's a wonderful reward from your side, sir.
Yes.
And heading towards the next question.
Mhm.
So, what are the core skills do you teach for the filmmakers as a faculty?
Well, my forte is one is the direction itself, uh, and the second is screenwriting. So that's why I am normally called as a director writer. I am one of those uh, directors who would like to write too. So at the moment, as we speak, there is, in fact, there are 2 scripts which I have, which are in at different levels, in the sense almost in the finishing levels for Bollywood, which are in the development stage, and I am it's in the groundwork uh, being done in the development stage, the first stage of pre-production, which is development stage. So basically, I teach direction, the principles of direction. How do we direct? Which are the principles? Because that's my forte, I believe, and my students are uh, definitely directing. I mean, hundreds of them directing short films, and even they started feature films direction. So direction is my forte, the first subject, so to speak. उसमें मैं बहुत ताकत डालता हूँ और बहुत रिसर्च करता हूँ और बड़ा बड़ा फिल्म मेकर्स का फिल्म मेकिंग तरीका मेथडोलॉजी में अपनाता हूँ और that is one subject. The second subject is uh, which is equally important, is the script writing or the screenwriting, which we teach in the Hollywood style, using different narrative structure, uh, starting with the 3-act structure, then Harmon circle, the various other narrative structures, where how we can write better and how we can remove this particular difficulty of Indian cinema or Bollywood. Cinema scripts are not up to the Hollywood style. So I'm definitely having a vision to change this thought process that Indian films do not have better scripts or good scripts like Hollywood. So hopefully with this kind of effort of these 2 subjects, I believe at least the next generation of filmmakers who are my students, and including me, as I told you, that 2 feature films for Bollywood which are under my direction and script writing department in charge are under the groundwork. And this is our basic, the two subjects that I would love to continue to do, both for Bollywood, particularly for Bollywood and then the Indian cinema, so that I believe great changes and, I have a vast knowledge of, hopefully I'm not boasting, a vast knowledge of certain, a large number of techniques which can be applied by, if taught, our budding filmmakers and including me, even as a person like me at this age also there is so much to execute and learn. And I'm sure these two subjects can definitely help. And these are the things. See, there is nothing called only teach film direction and screenwriting. I believe in great assignments, and some of the films made by my students speak for itself. I mean, they are wonderful films. Yes, they may not have the, at the moment, I cannot give them Arri Alexa or Sony or Panasonic cameras and 1 million watt lights, movie lights and all that, because they are just budding filmmakers. But then a stage will come where we will definitely, I will never say no to anybody who wants to use high level equipment, but then definitely they should reach that level. Until then, they can use mobile phones and simple lighting techniques, 3-point light techniques, or us directing a simple scene, things like that. So to my bottom line is these are the two subjects that I would continue to teach and continue to execute in the film industry. That, as we all know, every cricketing academy, every cricket student has to practice on the field, right? So he has to play for Ranji Trophy and other national and international type of games, and so this has to go hand in hand. Not just you teach the principles of filmmaking or the film studies or the various film movements and things, or the various narrative structures of a screenwriting. We have to really execute it. For that, the film industry is there, and we should continue to encourage. While we are upskilling and ourselves, we have to continue to encourage other students also to become to enjoy professional success, which I was saying, my third and final point, which normally takes 10 to 12 years, but that's okay. 10 to 12 years go just like 10 days or 12 days. That's what happened to me. So that's it. And that's the way we should look at it. And these are the two subjects. Yeah, sure.
That's a great experiences you carried by your portfolio. And so next question from our student side, that what are the current trends which are being trending nowadays in the filmmaking industry, and how should filmmakers adapt those trends?
Mhm. So one of the trends that we should really focus on is the documentation. As I said in the beginning of this session, that there is a document that every director, writer, or a screenwriter prepares before writing, laying down the foundations for the various acts, Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 of the script. It's documentation, which is actually coming from the Hollywood. It's the latest trend where the more you prepare documents, whether it is premise or synopsis, there are several 10 to 12, 10 to 15 documents. Some documents are of even thousands of pages. For example, the shooting script, which is not written by the script writer, but it is written by the director himself or herself, which certain films have. That document may be of thousands of pages. The film script may be of 120 or 130 pages max, but the shooting script is sometimes can be of thousands of pages, So there are one of the fundamental trends that is changing the Indian cinema and Bollywood is that the preparation for the documents, the preparations of the documents. So those documents once prepared, there was a time maybe 1980s में और 1970s में ऐसा शायद हो सकता था, नहीं हो सकता था ना, ऐसा होता था कि सब डायरेक्टर बोलता था मेरा दिमाग में है, टेंशन मत लो, है कैसा क्या करना है, कल अगर कल शूट है क्या करना है, एक्टर लोग क्या डायलॉग बोलेंगे, इसका सब क्यूज, इसका सब हिंट्स मैं दे देता हूँ। हम अभी आज शाम को बैठते हैं, बात करते हैं और कल हम शूटिंग में ऐसा ऐसा बोलेंगे। There was a zamana like that. ऐसा एक जमाना था. But then that kind of films, of course, they were great films. I mean, films like Who Can Say No to films like Sholay or Mathumati or any other great films or Anand, right? I'm talking about Bollywood. So, but then more and more greater films are happening. The moment you have better documentations ready, several drafts of the script, several drafts of the character profiles of various, at least the protagonist and the antagonist, the protag and antag, the main characters of the film, the character profiles of the various characters, you need to prepare the documents. Because if you don't know your characters properly, then you can lose the complete creative spark as you proceed in writing or directing. That's one of the biggest problems. So many people say, I can't write, I'm not able to direct a particular scene because I lost the creative spark. Why? Because the director or the writers do not know the characters which they created properly. One should know right from the birth the details of the character. When this character was born, how many types of experiences and things like that the person has gone through. So documentation, if you can attend one of our workshops, or those who study in filmmaking, they know, they have been taught, particularly in FTII, Film and Television Institute of India, or Whistling Woods International, or any other, Satyajit Ray Film Academy, and various other filmmaking institutes, fantastic and prestigious institutes. Once you go there, I'm not saying that you have to take PhD in film direction. I will never say that. But what I'm saying is that once you know to make these kind of documents, the character profiles of characters, the synopsis, the treatment, the premise, the subject matter, and the entire script itself, and how to install the script, how to install the story into screenplay. So then it becomes more beautiful, and it will definitely yield, the highest grossing box office result. Nobody will turn you down because you have done the proper documentation and you're executing in a very disciplined choice. When you prepare this kind of documentations, then you get creative choices. You will never, ever run out of options. Remember, a great director is always a person who selects from the creative choices that he has. It's not because I have nothing else now, what to do? Okay, let me do this way, this scene. No, there are so many creative choices. That happens when we prepare these proper documentations like shooting script breakdown, synopsis, treatment, premise, and short synopsis, the entire script of several drafts of the script, whether you do it on MS Office or Celtex or Final Draft, doesn't matter. And then when you, as a director, prepare the shooting script, how will I shoot this? That is a great skill testing mechanism or skill testing arena in which you are definitely challenged, but dedicated, passionate director can definitely go through. So this is one of the greatest trends that is coming in Indian cinema, which is being done properly, and the upskilling of the various equipment and movie lights and how these equipment can be taken in favor of us. Uh, Beginners can start with mobile phones, which is perfectly fine, and that's the way it should go. But then a stage comes for professional success. One should really know, how do I upskill myself with this kind of high level equipment and high-level movie lights, and how do I create the tone and uh, the mood of the scene. So um, that is again one of the trends that we are definitely seeing here. That also simultaneously, yes, we can make great films using mobile phones. As I always say, I always encourage all the budding filmmakers utilize. You look at what you have. Now, I may have Airy Alexa, and my fellow filmmaker may have only a simple smartphone. But both of us are making films, right? So when I say about high-level equipment, simultaneously there is also a trend. Can I try from a vantage point using a mobile phone? Can I take a particular shot? So that also has to be, mobile phone will take some time to reach the levels of the high-end cameras, because high-end cameras can give different shot sizes, different shot movements, and the better tilting and tilt down, tilt up, and pan, whip pan, and all these things, and there are high-level advantages. Industry is based on using uh, high-level equipment, and that's the way. Of course, at a certain stage, you will, or any budding filmmaker or anyone who is disappointed, I have at the moment only a mobile phone. But what I encourage you is, please look at what you have at the moment. And when you look at what you have at the moment, definitely film industry will call you. One of the greatest things in this industry is that you don't have to call anyone. They will call you. I meant to say that definitely the call will come. It's not that you sit and then passively everything will happen to you. I never meant that. You should be like a proactive character of a protagonist of a film, that everything you are doing. So you are doing everything. When you're doing everything what you have, with what you have, definitely the higher uh, realms or the higher positions of the industry definitely calls you. That's the way it is. If you're looking at what you have is a simple smartphone and you are very passionately shooting some scenes, and definitely tomorrow or this evening itself, the Alexa makes a call to you. Come, start operating this. If you are doing only short films and you have great passion to do feature films, keep doing what you have. Keep doing what you do. And then tomorrow, the feature film definitely calls you. Or today itself, not tomorrow, today itself. Because everything in film industry happens in real time. We all script, those who are script writers in the group, they know. We write the action block in the script in real time, right? Simple present tense. Everything happens now. Because for creativity, there is no past, no future. Creativity has only present. Everything is on real time happening. So I think these are some of the trends which we should understand, and sure our Indian youth are very intelligent and they can match up with anybody in Hollywood or the pulsing centers of filmmaking in any other country. So please work on these things which I mentioned. Yep.
Yes, sir. That's a wonderful explanation for that question. And we are heading towards the last question for the session. And please feel free if anyone having another question for the great session. So we are on to the last question. That what's your best advice for the young filmmakers entering a competitive industry of filmmaking?
Mhm.
What's your
So what?
advice for the
Yep. Yeah, sure.
younger filmmakers?
Yeah. So one of the things that you need to keep in mind is that this industry has got the similar characteristics of other industries, namely, you need to uh, respect and grow in humility towards other senior filmmakers. You may feel that they are egotistic or egoistic. They don't talk to me. They don't allow even a selfie. This kind of complaints I have often heard. But what I would like to request you is that please step away from all those arguments. And with respect for the seniors, the senior filmmakers, and working side by side with them while learning from them and having a very, very unique perspective of your own. You simply copy the senior filmmakers, doesn't make any sense at all. And if anyone is thinking, anyone at all, that I don't have the money to do this, or I don't have the professional crew members to do this, please stop thinking that. You should continue to say that I am the greatest director on planet Earth, or this film industry has ever seen. I am the best director. This should be, or this kind of sentences or statements must be in your mind as soon as you get up in the morning, or whatever time as per your body clock you get up, as per your work schedule or study schedule. Right from the moment you are awake, you should be thinking these positive things and talking that internally to yourself. That is very, very critical. That's very, very important. And we need to be in the same vibration. Don't change the vibration in between. Today, I want to become a director. Tomorrow, okay, there is no instant success happening. No financiers are coming. All are only questioning me in the meetings, etc., etc. Let me become a cinematographer. But then when I came to cinematography, oh, now this is AD Alexa, Sony, Panasonic, Red, Epic, Dragon. My God, how do I operate all this? No, 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 no. That's not good. I mean, cinematography is very tough. I don't know how to design the lighting. My God, no, no. So can I get into script writing? Okay, it's a single man's job, no disturbance. But then there again, the technicalities, when they try to work out certain things, the story is not going ahead. There is writer's block. So that's why I'm saying, please stick to one vibration. You want to be a film director, stick to that vibration. Start planning, do the plans, do the thinking, do the positive affirmations every time about that for several weeks, several months, several years. So this is to me, I have seen great success for film directors who practice this. Keep the vibration same. Don't change every now and then without any proper reason. Yes, we know there are engineer turned film directors. There are cinematography turned film directors. There are uh, film editors turned film directors. That doesn't happen every day, right? Maybe a person studied in engineering for several years and worked also in engineering company. But then there all of a sudden in a fine morning, a creative spark came to him. How to get into film industry. I want to be a film director, an established film director, the highest grossing film director. Now started working towards that, studied something, some workshops or 1 year course or 2 year course, whatever. And then keep that momentum and that vibration same. Then spend a few years in directing short films and things like that. Then afterwards, don't look back to that engineering. Array, let me go back to that engineering. So this kind of perhaps jumping from one vibration to another cannot solve the problem, cannot solve the crisis in life. Sometimes you do get instant success. Sometimes you don't. There are millions of people who are simply doing what they love in the film industry. So keep that vibration, whatever may be the department. In filmmaking, as you know, there are 25 to 30 major departments, and there are hundreds of sub-departments. Which department you love, do that. So kindly keep that vibration, stick to that vibration eternally. And I'm sure that's the time the call comes unexpectedly. You just do this positive affirmation in your mind. I am the best person in this department. When I think I am the best director or I am the best film direction workshop expert, or when I say I am the best film direction visiting faculty for a university, then these are the three vibrations I am doing, and those three vibrations are going hand in hand. And that is easy. And if I leave this and then I say I want to become an engineer or an automaker of Rolls-Royce car, the whole thing, there is big garbage. And the whole scenario is changing then. And we are neither there nor here. Right. So kindly remember that. And I believe definitely success will run behind you rather than you run for success or fame or money. If you want to make money, declare that to your mind. I want to make money legally, using hard work and my creativity and legal means inside the industry. Nobody said no to make money, right? Then make it. If you want to make fame, if that's what you want, make it legally. I want to be a famous person in the world, make it legally by your hard work, which is none other than smart work. The only synonym to me, the only synonym for hard work, or the only synonym, let me put the other way, the only synonym for smart work is hard work. I haven't seen anything else, unfortunately, and probably it will never be there. It's the hard work that pays off. It's the only thing that takes us through. And it's the only thing that end of the day gives extreme joy and happiness, which no other thing can give in the world. So thank you very much. All the very best for your careers.
Well, thank you so much for the answer. So it will be a wonderful session, sir, from our side, and I believe that students will get a new insight on the filmmaking part, how they have to be go into a new direction, or how they have to choose it as a career option, and they're not only just they get to know that they're the filmmaking not just to entertainment. It's a passion. It's a new passion. It's a passion for a new age, and definitely they have to go for a career option. And As you know, as you told every student that dedication, passion, and tireless efforts in bringing stories of to life on a silver screen. It's been a great attitude towards the learning, and I hope students will get new insights from your learnings and your experiences, what you shared. I believe in the upcoming part, we will conduct few more webinars onto new
Yep.
trending
Anytime.
topics for the
Anytime.
filmmaking.
Yep. Anytime.
And it's been a wonderful part to get your experiences and your case studies onto your 2 decades of experiences and be on a part of MESC. We have been appreciating your efforts for the session. So everyone, stay connected with us. We will coming with some more exciting topics on Vidyadan. I hope you would enjoy the session. Thank you very much.